Hi, this is my Module 3 discussion. Discuss the similarities and differences between scientific management, bureaucratic theory, and Weber's perspectives on authority. Scientific management, bureaucratic theory, and Weber's perspective on authority are all theories that fall under the classical perspective of organizational communication. Frederick Taylor's theory of scientific management is used to study operations and from those observations, making changes to make the operation more effective. Taylor believed that any job could be performed better if it was done scientifically. Page 111. The example in the text discusses how different size shovels affected the worker's performance. This theory ignored a key component, which is people are not mindless cogs in machines. Workers were to listen and fulfill their tasks, and that's it. Max Weber and Henry Fayle, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, are known for their bureaucratic theory, which pays more attention to how an organization is set up rather than what is coming out of the organization. Unlike what many of us think when we hear the term bureaucracy, it has to do with what the organization wants to achieve. According to Weber, bureaucracy should be synonymous with order, consistency, reason, and reliability. Page 114. Further, Weber's perspective on authority is that bureaucratic authority is best as it is set upon specific criteria related to what the organization hopes to accomplish. Traditional authority is not as concerned with who would be best for the position, but the person's background and the traditions of the organization. Charismatic authority relates to who would be best for the position and is capable of using the authority they've been given to the organization's benefit. On page 115, the text states that Weber felt that bureaucratic was the best way to delegate authority in an organization. Bureaucratic authority is founded on a set of objectives and criterion. Both Weber and Taylor's theories are looking for structure and order, as well as workers listening and following instructions. They differ on where the focus lies. With one, what is produced by the organization, and with the other, how the organization is set up. For Taylor, workers should listen and have no need to talk, whereas Weber realizes there is a need for communication, though it should be impersonal. They are looking to improve the organization and do what is best for the organization. What are the strengths and weaknesses of human relations and human resources approach to management? How are they similar or different? And have you had experiences in the workplace or other organizations that helped you better frame your understanding of the perspectives? Most importantly, the goal of human relations was to make workers feel like they belonged to something bigger than themselves, and thus the workers' work was important to the overall effort of the organization. Page 120. This was the first time two-way communication was really acceptable. By having these interactions, workers felt more important and in turn worked harder because they knew they were appreciated and what they did mattered. When managers took the time to talk or waste time, as Miles put it on 121, with their workers, they were able to use that interpersonal connection to get more out of the worker. Human resources workers are more than just a person to go through the movements, but can be helpful as well. According to Miles, workers have many things to offer. These resources include not only physical skills and energy, but also creative ability and the capacity for responsible, self-directed, self-controlled behavior, page 127. With human resources, it is not about using the worker's ability, but having them participate and be creative. Both have interactions between the manager and worker, but with relations, it's how the manager can use the worker. With resources, it's more about including the worker. Right now, I can't think of any experiences that have helped my understanding of the two perspectives. Though where I currently work definitely leans towards human resources. They want us to feel like we are part of something and generally welcome any ideas that workers at any level or any position have. And if the idea is feasible, they let you know. If it won't work, they also let you know. Discuss motivational theories. What are they? How do they work? What can you take away from the theories offered to help you in your chosen pursuits? The first motivational theory covered in the chapter is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which contains 5 different levels of need. The previous level must be achieved before working on the following level. First are physiological needs, which are basic human needs such as water and shelter. Then safety needs that allow a person to feel safe and secure in their environment. Next is love, affection, and belongingness needs. This is where people begin to look towards social need, a sense of belonging and connectivity. After the belongingness needs level is the esteem needs, where a sense of power is wanted. Individuals are motivated by the desire for strength, for achievement, for adequacy, and more, including the desire for prestige, on page 131. Finally, the top and last level is self-actualization needs that is harder to fulfill. With self-actualization, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. To Maslow, this tendency might be phrased as a desire to become more and more what one is, to become everything that one is capable of becoming, page 131. The next one is Frederick Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory. This theory looked at both sides of motivation, what motivates a person and demotivates them. Herzberg called the factors that led to positive job attitude motivators and those factors that led to negative job attitudes hygiene factors. Some examples of motivators are achievement, advancement, responsibility for hygiene, their policy administration. Job security and work conditions. You can find more examples of the two on page 132. Then comes Douglas McGregor's Theory X and Theory Y. Managers fall into one or the other based on what they assume about workers. Theory X managers believe people don't want to work. They will only work well when they are being rewarded or not wanting to get punished. Workers need to be ordered around and don't think for themselves. Theory Y managers believe the opposite. Workers can be self-directed. They want to work and do their best for the company. Lastly, there's Likhart's participative decision-making theory. The supervisors that had better productivity tended to focus on their people and treated them like humans and not just automaton. From his studies, he created 4 general management types. Exploitative is similar to scientific management. Managers make decisions. Communication only goes one way, and workers will do work due to fear of what could happen. benevolent also has the managers making decisions without any input from employees. Employees go along with the managers, so they will be rewarded. Next is consultative. Managers will get employee input and truly consider the thought. Finally is participative. Managers want their departments and employees to be successful. Employees are welcome to help with decision making. The main takeaway I get from this section is that it is important to have your employees involved. Employees are more motivated when they are allowed to be creative and have their input heard, and are not being micromanaged. From Table 3.2, when employees feel that they have self-direction and control and are able to freely use their creativity, experience, and insight, they will be more productive. The video altogether is 14 years old. Does its age impact the overall information and connect at least two ideas presented in the text? I don't feel the age affects the information. What was said is still relevant. The change in the climbing group reflects Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When they first get out of the van, none of them really know each other and are uncertain about how the others will act. Both their physiological and safety needs were met during one of the first group meetings, where someone explains the different tents, which is shelter and food. Then they are given information about the critters that they may run into and what they need to do to avoid injury. Now that the first two needs have been dealt with, they are able to work on love, affection, and belongingness needs. By communicating the work on becoming a group, where they learn to depend on each other and gain a sense of belonging. From there, they have some team building exercises, such as going over, under, and in between the ropes, which allows them to learn how to depend on each other, as well as leading to esteem needs due to their sense of achievement and confidence that they gain from the exercises. The climbing group also reminds me of Leichhardt's participative management system. Through the exercises the group gives, suggestions, and works together to get everyone across. They had to communicate, make decisions, work as a team, and by knowing they could be successful, they were more motivated and satisfied. Thank you.